I'm Amber Davies and welcome to Call to Stage. This is the space where musical theatre takes centre stage. From unforgettable backstage stories with incredible special guests to insights from my life and my theatre journey. We're leaving it all on the mic every single week, so let's jump in. Hello, welcome back to Call to Stage with me, Miss Amber Davies. Now, I have someone next to me whose surname holds a lot of weight in this industry. I am actually pinching myself that I have the fabulous Zizi Strallen here.
Hello.
I can't believe it. Oh my God, can I have an autograph, please?
Oh, give over.
Honestly,
have yours.
Can I just say, when I was growing up, to me, like the Strallen sisters were like, you still are like the be all and end all.
Me too. Like my Strallen sisters, they will always be my biggest inspiration. Do you know what I mean?
I love that from your perspective.
Always.
Is it just the perfect little bubble?
Yeah, I mean, God, you know, it's like a family business. It's like I always think of it as like if we were all hairdressers or if we all ran the family butcher or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We'll get into the sister situation later on because obviously I'm in the same situation.
Yeah,
My sister
course.
is in the industry too. And, you know, it's wonderful and complicated all at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
However, I've got one question that I ask everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Pick any role you've ever done.
Okay.
Pre-show ritual.
This is really weird, but when I was playing Mary Poppins, I used to listen to like really hardcore gangster rap. Before, and actually when I was on tour playing Mary Poppins, they had to move the kids' dressing room in one of the venues because it was like opposite mine and the music was really inappropriate for the children.
Guys,
but
imagine the Mary Poppins just literally rapping.
yeah, it was like almost needed that contrast. I don't know, before I then went on and played Mary Poppins.
Like spitting bars in your dressing room at the 5.
Not me, but yeah.
I need to know, what is your go-to rap song to listen to?
It's weird. There's a film called American Honey that's got Shia LaBeouf in it, and that soundtrack is all like hip hop tunes, and it's amazing. And that's the soundtrack I would put on.
Okay.
It's like proper hip hop.
Okay, we'll be listening to that
And
tonight.
of course, a bit of grime, like Stormzy and all of that as well.
Oh, God, I love Storms.
Yeah.
Hit us up, Storms.
Yeah.
Come on the pod.
Yes. Oh my God.
So you trained at Arts Ed.
Well, yes, kind of.
Okay, tell me.
So I went to Arts Ed from 11 to 16. So I did like the pupil school at Arts Ed. And then I went to London Studio Centre for like 2.5 terms. But it was their fault because they got me an agent,
Right.
the college. I auditioned for this show called Britannia High. Do you remember it?
I don't.
And it was terrible.
Okay.
But the casting directors from Britannia High then like helped me get an agent, and it was like a
Yes,
TV
I
program.
do. Yes, I do.
Years ago. There's some like amazing people that have come out of it. Like Pixie, that's where I met like Pixie, and Ed Sheeran auditioned for it, and all his auditions are on YouTube of him dancing really badly. And yeah, Arlene and David Ian and people were involved in it.
I do. That has literally just took me back to my childhood. Britannia High, guys. Oh,
So
yes.
I didn't get it,
Okay.
but I did get an agent from that, and then I ended up getting a show at 17, music man in Chichester, and then I left London Studio Centre. But at that point, I felt like I had done like 6 years training.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. You started so early. I mean, you know, your discipline, your foundation would have been there, you know?
I was doing ballet at 8 o'clock or like in the afternoon or whatever from 11 years old to 16 every day.
Yeah.
So I had that kind of college training already.
And with that, did you do like your normal like GCSE exams?
Yeah. But like Arts Ed are really, really hot on it. So it's like you have to get A's to like A to C's. Well, you did then. I don't know what it is now. It's all numbers, isn't it? With the GCSEs or whatever. But it was like you had to get A to C in order for them to like not kick you out or whatever. And then you had to then do your ballet and everything on top of it.
Okay.
It's hard.
That is really hard.
Yeah.
So you were in because for me, I was doing my GCSEs in a normal school, and then I was it was after school for me that I would go to all that singing. So how much pressure was it doing it all in one working day?
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot of hours. You'd start at 8 o'clock and then I wouldn't finish school until like 5:45 sometimes.
Wow, so your days were much longer.
Yeah. And then my nan ran a dancing school, still does, I think, well, kind of. And that was every Monday and Thursday. And we went to that as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So you have it in your gene, really, then, don't you?
I think so.
This industry
Yeah.
is you know,
Yeah.
you are it.
Do you feel like that though? Like it must, like you and your sister are so talented.
But it's not in our family. It's just...
Is it anywhere in your family?
It stops at me and Jade and it starts at me and Jade. My
That's
mum went to
mad.
dance lessons when she was younger, but it was like a hobby. I think I've got a distant uncle on my dad's side that was an opera singer, but
Okay.
but really...
So that's where the voices come from, maybe then.
maybe the Welsh, but like with you, it is absolutely in the gene.
I think maybe because it's just more obvious because we've all, done it as a profession. But yeah, I guess it is. It has to be, doesn't it?
Was there ever another option for you, career-wise?
I mean, when I was 11, I weirdly got into this really academic secondary school. And I mean, I don't think I'm that clever now, but maybe I was when I was 11. And I got into this I got an academic scholarship to like the top third academic school or whatever.
Zizi!
No, it's stupid because now like you ask anybody and they're like, I can't do 2 + 2. but yeah, I went to that school, but I hated it. And it was all, you were groomed to be a doctor or a lawyer at that school. So at that point, my parents were like, yes, go, don't do the industry, go and make some money. And then I begged my parents to let me go to Arts Ed. I've got a funny story about how I got to Arts Ed.
Go on.
So at the time, my parents really couldn't afford it.
Okay.
They were like, it's really expensive because Arts Ed is a really expensive school. And when I was 11, this is what I was like when I was 11, I wrote to Hammersmith and Fulham Council and said, please, can you find some way of giving me the money so that I can go to my dream school when I was 11? And they wrote me back and said, okay, you can come in and audition and you have to do a song and a monologue and a contemporary dance. And I did when I was 11. And they gave me like a bursary from the borough to send me to Arts Ed. And yeah.
That is the most iconic, sweetest, heartbreaking story I've ever heard.
My parents had nothing to do with it. They were like, we can't afford it. So if you want to go, you've got to get yourself there. So I did.
That is, I never knew that. I don't think anybody knows that.
No, I know. Yeah.
So God, what an amazing, amazing story that is.
Yeah.
So you need to be very thankful to 11-year-old you for having the
I know.
confidence and the passion to go out there and get that.
I don't think I would be that ballsy now. I don't know. Maybe
I think the
would.
older you get, the more you overthink things, don't you?
Exactly. The fear gets in the way, doesn't it?
So there was no other option for 11-year-old Zizi.
No, there wasn't. And I really wanted to go. So I wrote to the council and said, please, can I audition for you to give me the money?
I'm just imagining that, and that is just amazing.
I remember my bursary audition so well. It was in a gym,
Everything everything came down to that moment. I'm not surprised you remember it.
Yeah, exactly. I did a contemporary dance to Bad Day. Was it called Bad Day? You know that older, I can't remember how it goes. Da, 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 da. Mad World, that was it.
Mad World.
Do you remember that song? Lol.
What song did you sing?
God, I can't remember. I can't remember that actually.
Can you not?
No.
Wonder if it was something from Mary Poppins.
No, it would have been something way too old for me, like Winner Takes It All or something. I think it was probably Winner Takes It All. I think it was. And I was giving it big, vibrato or something. I think it probably was.
I love that.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to just name a few things that Zizi's done. Now, I just took random things. I haven't got time to name them all. So I'm just and then we're going to talk about individual moments.
Okay.
So we started Rock of Ages, Merrily We Roll Along, Dirty Dancing, Chitty.
Yeah. That was when I was a kid, yeah.
Scrooge, Matthew Bourne's The Car Man, which you won an outstanding female performance at the National Dance Awards.
I don't know how I did that.
Well, you did it. We'll delve into that. Was that just so random?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It was. Well, I'd worked for the company before, but even that was random because I was doing Dirty Dancing at the Old Witch back in the day when it was in the West End, and I got this audition through for Matthew Bourne's dance company. And I thought, I'm never going to get in that. Like, no way. But I went and did this all-day audition. And actually, it was the best. It's the best company. I just love that company so much.
Really?
And Matthew Bourne is the most insane director. I love that he's directed Oliver now. Yeah. And he needs to direct films. And he taught me how to act. Like, he really did that, man. And I didn't speak in any of his shows. But so then years later, I was doing Cats. And he then offered me Lana in The Carman, which is like a show and a role that I'd loved my whole life, whole childhood. And yeah, it was just the most amazing feeling. It was when you're playing a role, have you felt this, like, you just feel like it's really right for you? Yeah. And you're like, I love this. You really
needed that role to learn about who you actually are as a performer.
Yes, exactly. And I wasn't even singing or talking, but it really just taught me about gravitas, and it taught me about going on a journey as a character. Yeah, it was amazing.
I love that. Do you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever heard a bad word about Matthew Bourne.
No, you won't.
And not a bad word. Even we had the tech team over at Back to the Future. A lot of them had just come from Matthew Bourne. They were obsessed. And they've all gone back there now to work with,
they do.
With the production.
No one leaves, yeah.
Because it's just so... Shall I try and get that on my go-to list, Matthew? But probably not. Let's not.
You could.
Are you kidding me?
You could.
No. And then Follies, Strictly Ballroom, Pippin, concerts include Sunset Boulevard and Oklahoma.
Yes, which is coming up.
When is that?
The 19th and 20th of August at Drury Lane. It's really soon.
Drury Lane. Have you done Drury Lane before?
Just Pippin recently, but not before that. Pippin was insane.
Was it?
It was such a shock in a way. It was like we just all got together. We all learnt our numbers at different times, kind of thing. I did this mad number that was so much pressure that I had to do this big old dance number and a big old belt and everything. But it's such a lovely role because you do that one number and then you don't do Act 2. Oh, yeah. It's really good. But yeah, and then we all got together on the stage and it was like an explosion of theatre. It was mad. And the love for it was crazy.
Can we see that?
Yeah, they filmed it.
Oh, they filmed it?
Yeah, they filmed it and it's coming out like on Broadway HD or whatever that one is.
Right, so we can actually see that.
At some point, yeah.
Amazing. I want to see you belting with your legs by your ears.
Yeah, I do actually belt. I do this lift where I'm sort of like flat and then I get put up onto somebody's shoulder and then I have to belt a really high note and then like drop down. It was stupid. But Joe Goodwin is like such an amazing choreographer.
Yeah.
And we just said to each other, look, it's 2 shows. Let's just throw absolutely everything at this. Like, let's just really, give myself a challenge and just, throw everything in.
I feel like that would be your middle name, like Zizi, give myself a challenge, Strallen.
Yeah,
like,
actually.
Let's push my body and my voice to the limit.
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Go get her.
You know what? I have this incredible fan. I don't know if you've met him. You probably have because he loves every kind of theatre. And he's called Samuel and he's German. And I saw him when I went to see Charlie in Crazy for You. And he said, oh my God, I love all these different choices that you're making in your career. He said, I feel like you're the Lana Del Rey of the West End. Oh. And I was like, there is no way I'm as cool as the Lana Del Rey of the West End. But that is now my new brand.
Okay.
Thank you.
We will make sure that we advertise this as Lana Del Rey of the West End.
But I will put it as my Instagram bio. Like,
I'm here for that. We need to get a montage of your pictures next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
I'm literally obsessed.
No, I'm more like the Cat Dealey.
Who doesn't love Cat Dealey?
I love her.
Just say?
Oh my God. SMTV.
Now, West End revival of Mary Poppins. Yeah. You couldn't walk like around town without like seeing your face.
No, I know. I really felt for my ex-boyfriend actually.
Oh, that is an ex-boyfriend's nightmare.
Isn't it? I really did think that at the time. I was like,
oh. Do you know what that's called, babe? Karma.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Because you could not move
without seeing
my face.
I feel like my whole Instagram feed as well was like adverts with your face just everywhere.
Yeah, they know how to do it, Camerons, don't they? They do.
They've got a great PR team there. We should get them on here, shouldn't we? We should get them working with us. So for this, you were nominated for the Best Actress in a Musical at the Oliviers and WhatsOnStage Awards.
Yes.
Have you ever been nominated before?
No.
This was the first time.
Yes, first and only time, probably. Let's face it.
Honestly,
We'll see.
I can promise you it's probably not.
No.
Arlene Phillips won her first Olivier when she was 80 years old.
Did she actually?
Yeah.
What, recently?
Last year. This year.
That was her first?
That was her first. So the year before she got
my
a special
God.
Olivier, but
Oh, yeah.
actually this year was the first time she won an
for
Olivier.
Guys and Dolls.
Yeah, she's 80 years old.
She looks amazing, doesn't she?
Oh my God, she's a dream.
I feel like she's not my godmother, but I feel like she should be.
Yeah,
She kind of is.
she
She's like
kind
sort
of
of
is.
She's sort of brought me up in a way. I love that woman.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah. That's
So,
really cool.
Yeah. So don't worry, Zizi, there's time.
Okay.
So first time you were nominated, how much gravity did that hold to you? Are you into this type of stuff?
I am. I mean, I do think that what we do is objective, and you know, you can be one person's favorite person and you can be another person's least favorite. So I don't know. I think awards are amazing because they celebrate theatre, and that's what I love. But the sort of competition element of it, I think it's one person, you know, it's a few people's opinions, and
Yeah.
so, you know, it's
There's
kind
a lot of politics.
yeah, there's a lot of politics. So
Yeah.
I think if we all just champion each other, and you know, then that's what it's about, really.
For me, I just want to be up for an Olivier just for like the nominee stamp. I don't necessarily want to
Yeah.
win.
No, exactly,
just
because
wanna-
you've won anyway. Because
Because
you've been nominated. Yeah.
I would put like on the top of my door, like Amber Davis's house, Olivier nominee. My bio would be Olivier nominee, Amber Davis. Like everything would
Yeah.
revolve. I don't want to win. I just want that little stamp before.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, well, you'll get it.
We all get it.
100%, you will. Yeah.
So how, because you went on tour with it, didn't you, in 2015?
Mm-hmm.
And you also played the Royal Variety performance.
Yeah.
I really want to know about that because that is one of my dreams.
Well, so I did it twice with Mary Poppins.
Okay.
The second time we did it when we were doing the show in London.
Mm-hmm.
That time was fine. That time I loved it. That time I had a really good time.
Okay.
The time before, I had gastroenteritis. I don't know if you've ever had it.
Can you
but
explain to
I
us
honestly
what
felt
it
like
is?
I was going to die. So it's sort of like the norovirus, like not to go too far into it, but it's like both ends, basically.
Okay.
And you're going to die. Like that's how it feels. So the night before, and it was when like One Direction were really big and Little Mix and everything, and they were there. And I got to meet all of them. But honestly, I was on death's door. And then I had to fly over everyone's heads at the Royal Albert Hall. In 7 pairs of pants. Like, yeah, it was. So that is my first, Royal Variety performance where I was in this harness going over the people's heads thinking, don't shit. Just don't.
But isn't that so funny? Like, probably people watching that would have had no idea the trauma you were going through just to make
Hadn't
sure.
eaten 40 hours. Hadn't eaten, hadn't drunk anything. Because if I did, it would come straight back up.
Yeah.
They were really amazing. Camerons, they'd put me in a hotel the night before because we were doing the show on tour in Bristol. So in London, they put me up in a hotel, and my mum actually came and spent the night with me in the hotel because I couldn't stop throwing up. And then I had to go and do this dress run and
your voice, babe, after throwing up.
Oh my God. And so when I watch that video back, I hate it, obviously, because I can just see myself just getting through it. Like I had to just get through it, you know, and to me, I'm like practically perfect, like shaking, you know, can't sing. So the second time I did the Royal Variety performance, that was when I got to just actually enjoy it.
So I'm glad that you had a second shot.
Yeah.
I really love that. Was that a career highlight of the Variety performance?
Yeah, it always is. Yeah.
So what royals were there?
So the first time was Prince Harry. I don't know
Prince
if he'd
Harry.
met Meghan at that point. I don't know.
No,
She
he
wasn't
wouldn't
there.
have. I don't think
No.
he would have.
And then the second time was William and Kate. And they were so tall. Oh, and also like, because I'm really, I'm really geeky. Like I'm terrible. I'm like the most uncool person. And there's a video that Charlie Stem absolutely loves where we sort of are talking to Kate or whatever. And then she walks away and I just go, Like Mary Poppins is like, oh, it was awful. But yeah, I was so starstruck, and they're so tall. And I was just looking up at them like, hi.
I can't believe that you literally sung. Because there would have been a moment when they were just looking at you. Can you believe that?
Yeah, and they're so lovely as well. When you speak to them, they're just like, I think he said like, oh, how's the show going? You tired? Yeah. Or, how's your voice feeling? Yeah, literally like that. We were like,
Hi. Bow down.
Yeah, literally.
You don't curtsy, did you?
No.
Did you no.
I think we shook their.
That was to the Queen, wasn't it?
We shook their hands. I think. Yeah, they were lovely.
Yeah.
Yes, royalty. Can you imagine? I'm washed since. No,
I haven't washed my hands.
Yeah, no.
You've had a lot of experience with telly, haven't you?
Bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs. You filmed Cats in 2019.
The hit movie musical. Yeah.
Hit movie musical.
The massive smash hit Cats.
Smash hit Cats. And Cinderella.
Yes, yeah.
What I'd love to know is the difference between doing 8 shows a week, performing live, to then going on a set, having to redo things over and over again. Like, is it a different world?
Oh my God, completely different world.
Is it?
Yeah. God, the amount of sitting around you do is crazy. And you have to, especially on Cats, especially when we were filming like the Jellicle Ball, you'd have to sit and just keep yourself warm. And sometimes you'd sit there for 4 hours or whatever, while they decided what shot to do. And then, I mean, the biggest thing on Cats was the changes. So we would learn what we were going to do, and then we would do one shot of it, and then it would be like, no, that's not working. So like Andy Blankenbuehler was amazing. I love that man. He's the choreographer of Hamilton, and he was the choreographer, and he would just change it on the spot. Okay, let's just do something else. Then we'd learn it and we'd do it, and it was, yeah. So you don't get that when you're doing, but I think when it comes to musical theatre, nothing beats live theatre for me. It doesn't.
Retweet.
Yeah.
There's just the energy of that live audience. There's nothing quite like it, is there?
No, exactly. And like, I remember when we were filming Memory with Jennifer Hudson, who was incredible, but there were so many times when, so if they wanted a close-up of us, it would just be, like Jennifer Hudson had already done her shot like ages ago, and then it would just be the screen with a little cross, in the corner of where like Jennifer Hudson was supposed to be. And then we'd have to kind of listen to a playback of Memory in your ear, and you've got to just try and find the emotion of like watching Grisabella, but to a cross on the screen. It's really hard.
It's really hard, but also like, it shows how much of a experienced actress you have to be to portray that realistically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It did give me a real kind of new appreciation for film actors. It really did, because I know that a lot of the time they are acting to a cross on a lens. Like they are. And the emotion is so real. Yeah. So it is amazing. It's a different skill completely.
And the audition process for film to the audition process to the West End, is it similar? Is it completely different?
I mean, I think with Tom Hooper, you can't really compare it to any other film. I think my audition for that film I was actually on tour with Mary Poppins at the time, and I got a call from my agent, said, David Grinrod said, can you come to Pineapple and they want you to sing McCavity but not do any of the choreography from the show? And I was like, oh, this is for the Cats film, isn't it? They were like, we're not allowed to tell you what it's for. Okay. I was like, right. And I basically did like whatever choreography I could think of, because I'd been in the show and I'd sung McCavity, so it was really hard not to do the choreography. But I did whatever I could, and then was doing this for David Grinrod, and he was filming me, and even he was going, I've no idea what I'm doing, babe. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be filming you. Yeah, he was like, I'm just going to do some close-ups and like, it was hilarious. Then I went back in and I met Lucy Bevan, who's the lovely casting director. Yeah. And then I had to do a screen test for Tom Hooper, where they were trying out lots of different furry faces at that time. So it was potentially going to be prosthetics. And I had like fur on my face and a big it was crazy, and whiskers, and I had to do McCavity for about 8 hours in a studio over and over again.
Thank God you got it.
Improvising the choreography. Yeah, it was mad.
So completely different. Pole or opposite to what a musical theatre audition looks like.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got it. And did you enjoy the experience?
Yeah, I did. It was a crazy experience. It really, really was. It was 7 months long. So for a shoot, that's a long time.
Yeah.
But the people I met on it are just friends for life. And also the experiences of meeting, you know, Judi Dench and actually working with her.
Judi Dench.
And Ian McKellen. I always remember this one day where like we had these in-ears in, you know, so that we could hear the music because everything was sung live. But on set, if we had an A-lister on set, you could hear them in your in-ear all day. And I don't think they were ever told that. But like they would talk and we could hear them go to the loo, we could everything in our in-ears. But this day was probably the reason why they were never told it, because Judi Dench and Ian McKellen were on set together when we were doing Gus is the Cat with Ian McKellen. And they sat all day together and talked about their life in the theatre. And like all of us just sat there like that in silence all day long. It was like a podcast of Judi Dench and Ian McKellen talking about people from Shakespeare, talking about people from RADA in like the 70s or like, and all these like really, really famous actors. And like when they've fallen over on stage or like, you know what I mean? Things like that. And everyone was just sat there like listening to them all day. So things like that were just...
priceless.
Yeah, priceless. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, your career, I mean, you're unbelievable. I would like to talk to you, though, about the sisterhood. You know, you've got Zizi Strallen, Summer Strallen, Scarlett Strallen, Saskia Strallen. There's 4 of you. Have you got any brothers?
No.
Just 4 sisters?
Mm-hmm. My poor dad. Yeah.
Your poor father. What an expensive life.
I know. And all we did was take the mickey out of him as well because he was a dancer. So he's in like loads of music videos from the 80s.
He?
Yeah, my dad is. So we would just like constantly watch him on YouTube and just rip the piss out of him. But yeah.
I mean, what, you know, not many people in this industry goes, you know, kind of like hand in hand, walking with your siblings. Like, how special is that?
Yeah, it's really special. I mean, I did my first ever professional job with my sister Scarlett. And like I said, they are my biggest inspirations. They can't not be. You know, they're so talented and they're actually just brilliant people. They really are. And they've sort of really kind of paved the way for me and Sass, you know, both Summer and Scarlett. And I just, yeah, they're brilliant. And they're both wonderful mothers now. And yeah, they're just amazing.
Are you the favourite auntie?
Yeah. I'm known as Zanti.
Zanti.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has the industry, because everyone always goes, oh my God, does the industry come between you and your sister? And I always go, never. Like, has it ever come between you?
No, you just don't let it, do you?
No.
Your relationship and the world and life is so much bigger than the industry. Like, we love the industry, don't get me wrong, and we love what we do, otherwise we wouldn't do it. But if it ever felt like it was coming in between me and my family, or anyone I loved, or my friends.
Yeah.
You know, I have so many friends. Like recently I've just got so close to Lucy Jones. Aww. And, you know, we might be up for the same job or something, you know, one day. And you just, it is what it is. You can't let things get between you.
I just feel like we're in such a fortunate position because not only do we get to celebrate our achievements, but you literally get to experience their achievements single-handedly as well. I'm happier for my sister when she books a job more than I'm happier when I book a
me
job.
too, actually.
You know what I mean? I would cry more tears over her. So I just think it's more like how fortunate to be able to experience that.
That's really beautiful. Yeah, that's really nice. And that's kind of how I feel as well. And I think because obviously Scarlett played Mary Poppins before I did. And I think with a role like Mary Poppins, you get really emotionally attached to it because you have to put so much of yourself into it. It's such an effort, that role, like in a good way. And so when I was auditioning for it, I was really like conscious of that fact of that she probably felt quite emotionally attached to it. And she was just like, look, if anyone's going to play it after me, like I love that it's my sister, you know,
oh my God,
keeping it in the family. And that's just so nice. And I would feel exactly the same way.
Oh, that is, honestly, I feel like I'm going to cry. I mean,
because you know how it feels.
I know how it feels.
Yeah.
You are absolutely beautiful inside and out. You are. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Oh. Thank you, Miss Zizi Strallen.
Thank you.
Bye.